Hi guys, UsefulRandom Investing here. Today I thought we would take a look at my dividend tracking spreadsheet in a bit more detail. It helps me track my month-on-month dividend payments, and it also shows my total portfolio across all of my accounts all in one place. Hit the like button and subscribe guys. I hit that first 100 sub milestone yesterday. So big thanks to Money with Penny, my 100th sub. Go and check her channel out, show us some love. So here we are in Google Sheets. I have my portfolio split into US stocks and UK stocks on separate sheets. ETFs are also included in this. First up, we have all the company logos in the first column. This not only makes it look pretty, but it's also a bit easier to see what the company is when inputting the data. Next up, we have the ticker column, ticker symbol column. This is a very important column. The ticker symbol is used later on to pull in data from Google Finance, Finviz, in the upcoming columns. Then we've got sector. This is used purely for the creation of a pie chart, which you'll see in a minute on the 2020 chart sheet. It just displays the sector weighting in a nice little graphic. The shares column's next, obviously also very, very important. Every time I buy more shares of a company, I do update it manually in this one to reflect the new amount. Weighting is our next column. This is obviously weighting just for US stocks only, and this one contains our first formula. So it takes the total equity in cell G11 and divides it by the portfolio total in USD. That's dollars for obviously you lot, found in cell B4. Obviously, I do have the total shown in both US dollars and pounds for my convenience and yours. Google Finance is doing the conversion for me within the spreadsheet. Then we have price, share price. So this is being pulled via Google Finance, so it updates dynamically. The formula is referencing the ticker symbol found in cell B11. Obviously that's realty income for this case. And obviously the formula can be dragged straight down. It's then been told to display the price. We've then got equity, or the total current value. So all this is, it's another simple formula. It's just the share price multiplied by the total amount of shares. Next up, we've got an interesting one here. This is the spark line. It's a pretty complex formula. I'll leave the link in the description below. It's also found on Gen X Dividend Investors Discord. If you go into the FAQ on there, you can see the link for the formula. But what it does basically is it shows a graph contained within one cell, and it displays whether or not the stock is up or down over the last year. One that could easily be omitted, but it does bring some life into the sheet and help jazz it up a little bit. We've then got a dividend yield. This is a very simple formula of the annual dividend amount divided by the share price. So the yield will fluctuate up and down based on the share price, but all being well, however, the dividend will remain the same, or we will have an increase hopefully, thanks Pepsi. Although due to the current climate, anything can happen. I'm looking at you there, Disney. We've then got the 5-year CAGR, which is the compound annual growth rate. So these are inputted manually from Seeking Alpha, as I'm not too fussed about this one being dynamic. I'm trying to keep the amount of scraped data and API calls to a minimum, because it can cause timeout issues and such. Next up, we've got the weighted 5-year CAGR. Mine comes out at 8.53%, pretty impressive. Hopefully that continues long into the future. We then have forward PE ratio, which is actually been pulled dynamically from Finviz via the formula link below. If you notice, there is a 2 and a 4 in the formula. So what that's doing is it's referencing from that table in the link below, it's referencing row 2, column 4. If you look at this. And it's also referencing the ticker symbol. If you notice the B11 in the formula, again, we'll use realty income for this case. Next column we have is annualized dividend payout. It's found in the same table as the PE ratio. However, if you look at the formula for this one, it's not using 2.4, it's using 7.2, basically for row 7, column 2. So you can effectively apply this logic and pull any data out of that table you so desire, but I suggest keeping it to a minimum, as pulling too much can cause things to time out occasionally. We shall come back to the ex-dividend date and the pay date shortly, because they are using Finke API to pull in the data. It's pretty easy to set up, and I've made a blog post on how to do it, link below. I have a hidden sheet that contains all the API stuff to make it a bit tidier. So I actually have a second column for the annual dividend. It's because in the past I was using nasdaq.com to pull in the data before I was using Finviz, and it would often break. So it would break the rest of the sheet because obviously I was working out a lot of my formulas from this amount. So what I've done is I've created a non-dynamic and mirrored column so that if that one does break down, pulling it in off the internet, I've still got the data there to work for the rest of the sheet. But Finviz is way better and I've yet to see it go down. But I'll keep it this way just in case. The next few columns rely on the annual dividend, as does the dividend yield previously discussed. So we come to the next column now, which is the per dividend amount in dollars. This is the expected amount I should get per dividend in dollars. It's another simple one. It takes the per year dividend amount in cell S11, again realty income, and divides it by 12 as realty income is a monthly payer. Obviously the rest is either divided by 12, 4 or 2 depending on the frequency of the payment. Per dividend in pounds is the one I'm really interested in, mostly because it's tough to spend dollars in the UK, you get some funny looks. All this is using Google Finance to convert the per year dollar into Great British pounds or pound sterling. The per year dividend column has a little twist, a crucial part for anyone in the UK or anyone that gets hit with the withholding tax. For me it's 15%. So what I'm doing here is taking the annual dividend from cell P11 and multiplying it by the number of shares from D11, and then I'm multiplying that number by 0.85 to remove the 15%. So even Dividend Max, which is a paid for service, which I've done a little video on here, you'll see the card, that tracks dividends. This does not account for this. I had a free trial and I even emailed them to let them know this, and they was not aware of the problem. So you're paying for a service like that and it doesn't even, your Google Sheets is better. I'll now show you the Finke API before we go any further. So yeah, have a read of this blog post first. It's pretty straightforward to set up once you have your own API key. You can stick your email in and get notified of new blog posts as well. If you've got any suggestions for the blog, let me know in the comments or follow me at UsefulRandom_investing on Instagram and let me know. So this sheet holds all the Finke API info. As you can see, it's not pretty, so it's best to hide this one out the way once we're done with it. Don't worry about it, API is a free service as well. Finke API is a free service. Just to let you know as well, Finke API does not use ticker symbols, so you must get the ISIN for each ticker. It's all in the blog post on how to do that, so don't worry, it takes 5 minutes or so. And the reason it does that is because ticker symbols are not unique across exchanges, whereas ISIN are. Effectively, it works the same way as Google Finance though. You have a URL and an API key. The call API URL contains both a self-reference to the ISIN, the function, in this case dividend pay date and dividend X date, and then obviously it has more unique API key tags on the end. You will need to get your own. Follow the guide on my blog and it'll all become clear though. It works the same way in that once you've filled in one, you can just drag the formulas down like you can on Google Sheets normally. Let's get back to the fun part. So this part is pretty self-explanatory. I input each and every dividend I receive into the corresponding cells, with row 9 displaying the totals for each month, you can see here. Again, note this is US stocks only. All the green cells are expected dividends, hence realty income is all green. The UK sheet all functions in the same way. The only difference is obviously I don't have to take into account that 15% withholding tax. You can see at the top here you've got the USA and the UK per month is worked out from summing the totals of the expected dividends from both the US and the UK and then dividing by 12 to give me a monthly average. If we go on to 2020 charts, this is where I've got my graphs and charts. The total monthly dividend chart is my favourite for obvious reasons. It takes the total of both the US and UK stocks for any given month and sums them up. It displays them in a nice little chart. As you can see here, we've got the UK stocks a red part of the bar and US as part of the blue bar. The two pie charts show weight for the US and UK separately, along with a little small pie chart here which shows you the total split between the two. I've also got my total portfolio value and dividend income along with a separate cash savings account I have with Marcus. All this is displayed here as well. We've then got my weighted yield of the portfolio shown here, along with the total predicted yearly dividend income total, in both pounds and dollars. And just for fun, I have added the daily, hourly, minute and second dividend income. Thanks Gen X for the idea on that one. Be interesting to watch that one grow though. And last but by no means least, we have the yearly progression chart. So this one allows me to see my progression year on year, month on month. I'm really looking forward to filling this one in come January 2021 to see how far we've come in just 1 year. Should be really nice to see. Yeah, so don't forget to like, comment and subscribe guys, and go and check out my blog. Thanks for watching the video.